Okay, so we're gonna get our full-blown acceleration here. Whoa. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be going over the all-new Audi RSQ8. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the strong Audi here in Salt Lake City, Utah for getting some time with this RSQ8. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Landon. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood, we have a twin turbo 4-liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is good for a whopping 591 horsepower and then 590 pound-feet of torque. And from what we've seen happen in the aftermarket world, you can tune this engine to have quite a bit more power than that if you want. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you can see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see that, well, it's flat there in the center, and then we've got these sharp lines there on the side, which just looks really good. And then coming down below, we have the distinctive LED daytime running lights here for the RSQ8, and then you got the LED headlamps, and then that's actually carbon fiber trim all around that you're seeing in gray. And then notice that the grill's all blacked out, Audi logo's all blacked out, and then you have a little itty bitty RSQ8 badge right there. And yeah, when you put it all together with the carbon fiber trim and everything, this looks sporty. So coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 295/35/23 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see you've got the silver there on the top and then the kind of like dark gray below that. It's almost black, but it looks kind of gray to me. Anyways, you've got the red brake caliper and I mean, pretty crazy setup. I mean, look how big those rotors are, 23-inch wheels, and those rotors fill up like the entire wheel pretty much. And then here's our full side profile here. You guys can see with those body painted fender flares and then with the sharp lines on the side, it just looks so cool. And I'm typically not a fan of big wheels like this, but it actually works on the RSQ8. Now here's our key fob. Notice it says RS there on the back. We've got our unlock function, the opening for the hatch, and then our lock function. So just press this a couple times and it'll pop right open. Now, popping inside, something that I want to mention is as soon as I actually opened up the hatch, this automatically retracted back, which that's a cool feature. And then you can see here, pretty good storage space. And if we open this up, we got some more stuff happening down below. And then also, since this does have air suspension, you can adjust the rear end to raise or lower depending on, you know, what you want from a loading perspective. And then up top here, just press that button and that will lower the hatch right back down. And then we of course have the fancy RSQ8 taillights here, and then more carbon fiber trim with the blacked out Audi badge. And then notice there's even more carbon fiber trim down here, huge exhaust tip covers, and then you got the receiver hitch in the center. And yeah, when you put it all together, the RSQ8 is just such a good looking SUV. We do have keyless entry on this. Now, starting with the door panel here, we have these automatic retractable sunshades. So for example, if I just pull the control, you can see it'll start to come up. Really nice leather trim, Alcantara. We've got the leather and the red stitching, and then that's that control here for the sunshade and the window control. And then notice the carbon fiber trim and just really nice looking door panel. Beautiful seats here with the red stitching, and then notice the RS logo there, and then look at the perforated leather with, again, that red stitching design. That is cool. Now, legroom back here is actually really solid. We do have this little storage net. We've got some vents here for the rear passengers, and we've got our own climate controls and heated seats here for the back. And then headroom's also really solid. As you can see, we have our cup holder armrest situation. Keyless entry yet again. Now with the front door panel, again, really nice leather trim here, and then look at the Alcantara down below, and then the red stitching. All of our window controls here. We've got our mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in, and then look at the carbon fiber trim. All of our memory seat functions are right there. Blind spot monitoring for the mirrors, and then you can also see a speaker for the Bang & Olufsen sound system. And then here with the front seat, again, you got that red stitching. Notice the RS logo in the seat, and then you can see the design in the center. That is just absolutely beautiful. And then we've got our power adjustments on the side. Massage seat function too. Really nice looking pedals here at the bottom. Then we have our RSQ8 plaque right there. And then notice the carbon fiber trim up above. We got our light controls, and then steering wheel is power adjustable. So here is our steering wheel. We've got the golf ball texture all around with the leather so you can get a good grip, and it just frankly looks cool. Red stitching in the center. We got our RS badge as well. Paddle shifters here on the back for that 8-speed automatic. And then also we got like our RS mode. We got our view button here for the center. And then also we got our turn signal stock, cruise control stock, windshield wiper stock. Now here is the center gauge cluster, full digital gauge cluster. And my favorite part about this is how you can like do like the full map view. This is something that's really cool about Audi's virtual cockpit, but you can basically just change it to look however you want, which is pretty fancy. So we have this cool 360 camera system. First off, when you turn the wheel all the way, notice that the camera turns with that, which I think is fun. Got that bird's eye view, and then if I go from reverse to drive, it automatically pops on the front camera. Back to reverse though, and you actually have to like click into the screen. But notice we got this cool little graphic. So great camera system. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment screen, first off, this one's set to the click function, which is interesting. It makes like a little mouse sound, but response time's great, as you can see. And then if you press on the vehicle tab, first thing, if we go over to the seats, is where you can access a lot of adjustability and everything with the seats, and then also like the massage function as well. And then notice we have our RS monitor, which will show you everything when it comes to performance information, which is also cool. And then we have our drive mode select. I know there's lots to go over. But yeah, this says everything: off-road, all-road, comfort, auto, dynamic. If you're wondering, all-road's kind of like your inclement weather conditions. And then yes, this does come with an RS1 and an RS2 mode. And you've got your adjustment for the air suspension. Down below, we've got our controls here for the climate system. This does have a dual zone climate system with heated and cooled seats. And then notice we've got our auto stops out there, hill descent control, and that's for like your universal garage door openers if you can turn off the screen. And then down below, we've got our control there for the drive mode select if you don't want to use the touchscreen above, stability control, and then some climate controls. And then we got a good old fashioned volume control. That's for like the safety tech camera system, and then your stop start button. Here is the shifter in the RSQ8, really nice leather trim on that, and you do have a manual mode, so just pull it back and then push it to the side, but notice it'll go back into place for you. Parking brake here with a couple cup holders, and look at all the carbon fiber trim. Here's a closer look at that with the red stitching. That's pretty cool. We got this fancy center console that like pulls up like that, and then you can also pull it up. Wireless phone charging pad, and then some USBs inside. Really nice leather trim here on the dash, and then you guys can see here with the Quattro logo, and then look at the carbon fiber trim down below, and then glove box. And yeah, just seriously appreciate this interior. Finish is nice and lots of cool materials. Now I've got controls here for the sunroof, and we also have a very nice premium headliner, kind of expected. It also continues onto the pillars, and then yeah, panoramic sunroof. That's nice. Now, most RSQ8s are optioned out to be somewhere in like the 140 to I think like 160 range in terms of pricing. But anyways, let's see how this drives. Well, let's talk about visibility here before we set off. You got your visibility over the hood, and hope you can now see the heads-up display. Both mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Okay, so we are setting off here in the RSQ8, aka the budget Lambo SUV, because, well, this is basically a Urus, just minus the Lambo styling and also minus the Lambo price. And something that I do want to mention, I reviewed an Urus, and I was pretty disappointed in the build quality with that. It seems like the Lambo build quality isn't quite up to par with Audi build quality, which is really strange because it's a much more premium brand. But it's like they basically took an Audi product that had like really solid like build quality, no rattles or anything, and then they added a bunch of Lambo stuff to the interior that rattles and everything. So yeah, go figure, the Italians making an interior look cooler but then be less functional, I suppose. But anyways, actually like getting up and moving with this does have engine stop start, which usually I'm not annoyed by those systems, but this one, it's kind of like keeps happening quite often. It's very aggressive with the engine stop start. Really smooth. I am pretty surprised at that because, again, this has 23s, so usually don't expect a vehicle with wheels this big to be this smooth. Now, the next thing that's very noticeable is this does have rear steer. At low speeds, you can actually kind of hear it working, but it makes this feel smaller than it is. Now, this isn't a huge SUV, but I mean, it's pretty substantial in size. Definitely like that massage seat function and the heated seat function. That's all coming in clutch right now because it's pretty cold. I do have it in the auto mode, if you guys are wondering. So you pop it in comfort mode and see what that does. Some of the drive modes will raise or lower the suspension depending on what you're doing. So like off-road mode obviously will raise it, and then dynamic will lower it, for example. Yeah, that auto stop start, it's just like, boom. As many times as it can do auto stop start, it will. That is interesting. Really like the steering wheel. I love the feel of it. Again, that golf ball texture is great. And I think that overall they've done a really good job. Again, like I said, build quality interior is fantastic. Like everything is just very tight, if that makes sense. Like there's no weird like I can kind of like, you know, push on the dash a little bit here and it's not gonna rattle, right? It just stays fixed, which is very nice. Yeah, going over those bumps, pretty smooth. What I would love to see though is, well, I mean, the brakes are a little bit too big. I was gonna say, I'd love to see someone put smaller wheels on this and really big, beefy off-road tires. That'd obviously help out the ride quality, but I bet that would look pretty cool. Like imagine like an RSQ8 with like 35s on it. That would be absolutely hilarious. So I think like what I'm trying to say here is this is a good luxury SUV. Now we're gonna pop into the dynamic mode. That like where you have to like really click in. Sometimes I'm not too fond of that. Well, I've never seen that before. Wrangler with the lights on top. I'm not sure if that person's legit or if they're just trolling. They're probably trolling. So we got it in the manual mode here. Really like quick with the gear shifts, smooth as well. Get little pops out of the exhaust. That is definitely fun. Okay, so we're gonna get our full-blown acceleration here. Whoa, holy guacamole. This thing is stupid fast. My goodness. Wow. I'm gonna just, nothing to see here, officer. Oh my gosh. It sounds so good too. This is ridiculous. Who needs this much power? I know earlier in the video I'm like, yeah, you can tune these. Like, I don't think you need to tune this thing. It rips. Wow. That is, and it sounds so good too. That is so much fun. Camry, you're supposed to, they didn't follow the rules. So what you're supposed to do with the, hey, just a driving lesson, you stop, you check if anyone's walking, and then you go. You don't just drive through. Toyota drivers, am I right? But yeah, so summing things up here at the RSQ8, I think this thing looks cool. It drives really well. It's crazy fast. I mean, this thing is just bonkers. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I feel like all the bad things I have to say are about the Urus and not the RSQ8, because like, okay, yeah, this doesn't look as crazy as the Urus, but like, I think that some people would like the fact that this has more normal styling, if that makes sense. So let me know which one you guys would pick, but if it were my money, it would either be this or an SQ8, because the SQ8 has the same engine as this, and so maybe I just get an SQ8 and then tune the heck out of that and then basically make it like the quote-unquote Lambo killer, but that's all. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this RSQ8. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Strong Audi here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this RSQ8. Check out the info in the description down below. Ask for Landon if you have any questions. I'll see ya.